Hello Ben, how are you? I want to go over a Surface Pro 3 that we changed the screen for. I have the screen right over here. So we changed the screen on a Surface Pro 3, and after we did so, the Surface Pro stopped working. It stopped turning on. And it's a repair shop's worst nightmare when you get something in working with a broken screen. You change the screen and then it stops working. Your adrenaline kicks in and you just want to figure out what's wrong. Why did this stop working? 1 second. All right.
Hey, I have a question. You write down.
The tablet is working now. I want to show you how we fixed it. So if there's anybody out there with the same problem, I'm going to show you what caused ours to stop working. Hey, buddy, how are you?
Hey.
All right, and you're all good?
All right.
So this is the tablet with the new screen, new high quality screen. I did not seal the tablet yet because I want to show you what went wrong when we were working on it. Let's go ahead and take the screen off. So in here, if you see, we have a battery connector, we have an LCD connector, and we have a digitizer connector. The LCD connector goes on top of this screw hole, and then we screw the connector, and all the pins of the connector will make contacts with the pads on the board. And the same thing goes with the battery connector. It just goes in like this and you screw it in, and that's how the cable makes connection with the board. Now what I did not realize is there is this piece in between the cable and the board, and the piece looks something like this. There's one for the battery and there's one for the LCD. So the one for the LCD looks something like this, and same thing goes for the battery. This is more like an extension, so the contacts on the cable can make connection with the board. If I take this piece out and I try to screw this in, let's say I took that piece out from here, like so, and I try to screw this cable back in, now that cable is not going to make connection with the board anymore, so the tablet will be dead. What happened is we put the screen back on like this, we aligned it with the screw hole, and we screwed it back in, not knowing that this piece was not present. This piece somehow flew away. So after we connected all the cables, we turned the tablet on, nothing came on the screen, totally black, nothing at all. 20 minutes, 25 minutes, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, trying to figure out why this tablet is not working. I even put the board under the microscope to see if perhaps any components were damaged during the prying of the screen. I inspected the board under a thermal cam to see if there's a short of some type. Maybe some short happened, and it was perfectly good. I even went online to look at pictures of screens to see if there's anything that we should be aware of, and there was absolutely nothing, until I noted that the battery itself has that connector that goes in between the cable and the board. So I thought the same must be for the LCD. We should have that thing that goes in between the cable and the board. I looked on the floor and I found it in between the tiles. I found that piece laying in between the tiles. I put it back on and everything worked. So the tablet was turning on, but because the LCD cable was not making connection with the board, it was not showing any image on the screen. So the tablet is working now, and I wanted to pass on this information to anybody who may be having the same issue with their Surface Pro. Just make sure that you have those two pieces, one under the battery and one under the LCD connector. We're changing the battery on the Surface Pro, the first one, and changing the battery on this tablet is such a pain because you have a lot of screws that you need to take out, a lot of different things we need to remove to get to the battery. Look at how wavy the board is. As you can see, the battery expanded underneath and the board is wavy. We told the customer that this tablet may never work again. We do not know what's going to happen if you try to unscrew a screw. The board may snap, and we do not want the customer to come back and say my tablet was working before I brought it here and now it's not working. Well, look at the way the board is. Okay. And the board is finally out. Look at how many screws. Look at the way the battery expanded. Working on this tablet is very time consuming. This is the first Surface Pro. A lot of different type of screws. Every screw is different than the other. Small screws, big screws, and different types of screws. So you need like 3-4 different type of screwdrivers. So now he's trying to take the battery out of the casing. We just got an Xbox that needs HDMI port changing. A lot of laptops. I do not know which one I'll do on camera. We're building a gaming machine for a customer using the latest Maximus Hero board. And this is the computer right here. We're still waiting on a few things. We also have another one that we built right here. I'm gonna do a separate video on that one. That's an awesome machine for such a low price. $690, 3.9 gigahertz Ryzen 3 AMD, 8 gigs, quad core SSD. It takes about 5 seconds to boot up from start to finish. Finally.